buying a new house that hasn't been built yet, if it takes 6 months, if it takes a year, you're going to be paying significantly more than you're paying now. We are in the first week of May, which means it is time to cover Central Coast housing market numbers for the month of April. We're going to cover Santa Maria, Orchid area, and southern San Luis Obispo County. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video because normally we talk a little bit of tips in the real estate investing side of life, but I want to talk about an interesting statistic that's been going around kind of in the real estate circles. And if you're not in real estate, if you're not in this industry, it's probably not something you would have come across. So you definitely want to check this out. It is very, very fascinating. It has to do with new home builds and what we're going to see moving forward as far as prices on homes. So make sure to stick around. Jumping straight into the numbers, we're going to cover Santa Maria first this time. This month, we did see a little increase in active listings, up to 73 active listings compared to last month where we only had 67. Still very, very low considering how many homes and how many people are in the Santa Maria area. New listings, we had a nice little bit of an increase up to 104 compared to 95 last month. And the sold listings actually went down a little bit, down to 97 compared to 108 in the previous month. That did bring our absorption rate up just a tad, but we're still just a little bit over 3 weeks. So very, very low on inventory still. We're not seeing the spring rush yet that we'd normally seen, but you know, this last year we never really saw a slowdown in the market in the winter time. So still very, very low on the inventory. If you have a home, you know, it is still a good time to sell. I don't see prices really slowing down anytime soon. Median sale price in the Santa Maria Valley area up to $480,000. That's about a 9.5% increase compared to April of last year, where it was at $438,500. Year to date, that is January through April of this year versus January through April of last year, we're seeing a nearly 12% increase, 11.79%. So very, very good increase. You know, again, we're seeing this low inventory is really driving those prices up, still seeing a lot of buyer demand. That is Santa Maria numbers. Let's jump over into San Luis Obispo County real quick. Active, slight decrease, 171 versus 187 last month. So not too bad, but about a 5% decrease. New listings on the market, 156 versus new listings last month, we had 192. So that is not very good. We want to see more new listings coming on the market again, especially coming into spring, early summer. This is normally where we see a big jump in the amount of inventory on the market. Sold listings, 180 compared to 184 last month. So, you know, negligible difference there. The absorption rate dropped just a little bit because of the new listings dropping. We're down to just over a month, where we're closer to about a month and a quarter last month. This is a very interesting number. Median sales price this April versus last April. This April we were at $839, whereas last April we were at $660 median sales price. That's a 27% increase. And I think that's an outlier. That doesn't seem like that's going to be a normal big jump for me. There's probably some bigger house sales that push that number up this month. I don't see that being a stat that we see continually going forward. Probably more of an outlier month. Let's talk about the stat that I was mentioning earlier. Guys, this is very, very interesting. I'm going to put a couple graphs up on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about. The first thing is lumber prices right now. Lumber prices have essentially doubled in the past year. Sheet of plywood used to be $30, $40. They're up to $70, $80, $90 in some places right now. So we're seeing supply chain shortages. And this is not just for lumber, this is across many different sectors and many different areas in the building industry. So what does that mean? That means a huge increase in housing prices for new houses. You know, if you're looking to get into a new development and you haven't locked in a price on that house yet, your price is going to go up significantly by the time it's time to actually lock in a price and pay for your house. So new houses, buying a new house that hasn't been built yet, if it takes 6 months, if it takes a year, you're going to be paying significantly more than you're paying now. The next stat I want to show you guys, the next graph I'm going to bring up right now, is kind of plays right into that same thing. And you'll see that over the past 40, 50 years, we've had a nice amount of houses being built every decade. This chart, you'll see it goes by decades. So 1970s, 1980s, 90s, 2000s, 2010, up to current date, right? Over the past 40 years, we've seen an average of 26.2 million houses built in the US per year, or excuse me, per decade. This previous decade, we saw 5.8 million houses built. That is a massive, massive, massive decrease. And that is just going to press even further on this housing demand. You know, less supply, less houses being built, price of lumber going up is going to depress that number even further coming up here in the next year or so. So these are all factors that are playing into this crazy housing pricing we're seeing right now. So if you're holding out for prices to drop, you know, there's just not indicators that that is going to happen. Essentially everything is pointing to a continued rise in home prices right now, at least, you know, in the foreseeable future. Look at that stat again, 26.2 million houses built per decade over the last 40 years. This last decade, we're down to 5.8. So massive, massive decrease. Again, supply is dropping. Demand is still high. Interest rates are low. I don't really know what else to say about it. My name's Christian Tiessen. I am with Hubbell Real Estate. If you guys have any questions real estate related, feel free to reach out. Number is 805-459-9834.